What's going on, guys? Arrow here, and guys, today I want to talk to you guys about a really exciting event that only happens once a year, and of course the event that I'm talking about is E3. So E3 is a huge gaming convention that occurs every year during the summer. It happens in June, and it's always a ton of fun, as this is a huge video gaming convention where so many different video game companies all come together, and they always have some big announcements to talk about, and I think we can all agree that Nintendo has a lot of surprises that come out of E3. And I think we can all say that E3 is definitely going to hold a lot of big events and big surprises from Nintendo, especially because right now they've got a really successful system, being the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I remember back in the days with the Wii U, we couldn't really expect that many big announcements to come from E3, even from Nintendo, because there just wasn't that much hype around the Wii U. Not many people even had a Wii U, and I think Nintendo kind of knew like there's not much that they could do. But right now they've got a really successful system, and they know a lot of people are buying this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year at E3. So what could Nintendo have this year at E3? As I mean, in 2018, from the time that I'm making this video right now, Nintendo actually hasn't put out any type of big like event as to like what games we could look forward to this year. I mean, sure, they've had that like Nintendo Direct Mini that happened in January, and they revealed some pretty cool things from that. They talked about like a brand new Mario Tennis game. They talked about like Dark Souls coming onto the Nintendo Switch, the release date for Kirby Star Allies. But mostly that direct just focused on games that are going to be coming out during the springtime and the first quarter of 2018. From the time that I'm making this video, we still haven't had any like big Nintendo Direct that's revealed a lot of the games that are going to be coming out this year that are going to be like heavy hitters on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, last year by this time we already knew about like Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2. We had a lot of games because of that January Switch presentation that happened last year, but this year we still haven't gotten anything, and I think Nintendo kind of wants to save all of these big hitters for their event that's going to be happening at E3. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but Nintendo actually has a goal to sell 20 million more Nintendo Switch systems than like the 12 million or so that have already been sold by the end of their fiscal year in 2019. So I think it ends up being like the end of March. I think like by the end of March, they want to have to sell 20 million more Nintendo Switch systems than all of the ones that have already been sold currently. Now, this is definitely an insane goal for even Nintendo to have, but I do think that it's possible. It's not like they can't have this be possible if they put out the right games and they get some really big heavy hitters on the Nintendo Switch and get a lot of people to go out and buy a Nintendo Switch. I definitely think that it's possible for them to sell 20 million more Nintendo Switch systems. But like I said, it depends on the games that Nintendo decides to put out for the Nintendo Switch this year in order to make sure that they are able to sell 20 million more Nintendo Switch systems. And what better way to get Nintendo Switches flying off the shelves than to have a huge Nintendo Switch presentation at E3. So we actually have a supposed leak here that's claiming to have the inside information to what Nintendo's E3 is going to be like this year. Now, I do want you guys to take all of this with a grain of salt, as it might not end up being true, but the reason that I'm covering this is because the person who's leaking this information is supposedly the same exact person who leaked the Nintendo Switch presentation that happened last year in January. So I'm going to show you guys the post that this person made last year right before the Nintendo Switch presentation, and you can see right here that the date is January 11th, and if you remember, the Nintendo Switch presentation was on January 12th, so this is one day right before the Nintendo Switch presentation. And the person said, "I'm working for the setup for Nintendo at their Switch reveal event. I'm setting up all the physical stands before the Nintendo folks come in and set up their consoles and hardware," but this is all the information that they had, and look at what they said. They talked about Has-Been Heroes, Fast RMX, Snipper Clips, Splatoon 2, Super Bomberman R, ARMS, Ultra Street Fighter 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild. All of this stuff ended up being true. And look at the person right here and their name, as well as the name for the leak that I'm going to be showing you guys right now about this year's E3. You can see that the pictures match exactly, and that's not that hard. I mean, obviously the person could have just come here and taken the picture, but you can see that the name matches completely as well. So this might in fact be the same exact person who was leaking this information last year for the Nintendo Switch presentation. Alright then, I guess we should take a look and see what this person is saying about what Nintendo's E3 presentation this year might be like. So the first thing that it says here is Metroid Prime 4. And that's all it says. It doesn't give any type of details as to what could be shown about Metroid Prime 4 this year. Now, I fully believe that Metroid Prime 4 isn't going to be coming out this year, but that doesn't mean that they can't show anything about it at E3. I definitely think that this year is probably the time we're finally going to get to see some gameplay for that game. Maybe they'll show like a quick teaser of just like the back of like Samus's suit or something. Maybe they could actually show like a full-fledged trailer with gameplay. I don't know, but I definitely expect something about Metroid Prime 4 to be shown this year at E3. The next thing here is it says Pokemon, it's 2 versions with the 8th generation. So of course, another thing here is with Pokemon, everybody's expecting Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch to come out this year. I personally, once again, don't believe that it's going to be a 2018 game. I really think that Pokemon Switch is going to be a 2019 game, and I personally want that to be the case. I think it would be really cool if they had a lot of time to make that the best Pokemon game they could possibly make. Like, can you imagine them taking that time and making such an amazing Pokemon game that it's like almost like it becomes like a nominee for game of the year? Like, I think it would be so cool if Pokemon could end up becoming a game of the year just by having more time in developing the best game that it could be. But once again, it says here Pokemon, it's 2 versions with the 8th generation, but the thing here is that Pokemon actually never has any reveals at E3. We've never gotten any type of Pokemon game that's been revealed at E3. Now sure, we've had like events about Pokemon where they showed gameplay and trailers and stuff, but we've never actually had an event where they've like revealed brand new Pokemon games at E3. Now obviously there's a first time for everything, so they could very well show off Pokemon Switch at E3, and that could be like the big surprise there, but I don't know how I feel about that. I think like they kind of would want to reveal the games ahead of time and then just show gameplay about Pokemon at E3, but who knows. Alright, so the next thing that it says here is Bayonetta 3. Now, I don't think that we're going to see any type of like big reveal about Bayonetta 3 this year at E3. I think that game is still pretty early in development. I think it might even come out later than Metroid. Like, I think because of the timing that they revealed it like late last year at the Game Awards, I think that there's still a lot more time that they need to develop Bayonetta 3, but who knows, maybe they could show off a trailer for that game, maybe they could show off a teaser. They kind of already did show off a teaser with like the reveal for Bayonetta 3, as they kind of showed off like a little bit of gameplay, I guess, or like a teaser trailer, whereas for Metroid we just had a logo. But I think we might see something about Bayonetta 3 come out from E3. Now the next thing here is that it says Pikmin 4 is going to be the 4th game of the Pikmin series, and I think that this has a possibility of being shown off at E3. I mean, we've always been hearing rumors, and I think something was even said by Mr. Miyamoto where Pikmin 4 was like close to near completion or something like that. Like, we've been hearing that Pikmin 4 has been like close to being completed for a while now, and we haven't seen a release for that. We haven't like seen a release for a 3DS or a Wii U, and I think it would only make sense to make that game come out for the Switch now. So maybe at E3 they could finally reveal Pikmin 4. I think a lot of people would be excited for that. The next thing here is that it says The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is going to be an HD remake of the Wii game. So I think that this has a possibility of coming out on the Switch as well. I think we did get an HD remake for a Zelda game on the Wii U as well. I think it was Twilight Princess which got an HD remake, so maybe they could do an HD remake this year for a Zelda game as well. I just don't know if it would be the good time to do that, because we did get Breath of the Wild just last year, and I don't know if it would be right to have another Zelda game coming out this year. I mean, I do understand it's just a port, but I think it would be better to wait like a year or two and then have that game come out, or have like Skyward Sword HD come out, than to have just another Zelda game right away. But who knows, maybe it could just be a pretty good seller for Nintendo to have on the Switch. The next thing it says here is Super Mario Maker 2 is going to be coming out, and is just a sequel and not a port. Now, it doesn't say any type of release date here for any of these games, so I don't know if this is going to be stuff that's coming out this year or if it's going to be coming out in 2019. But I mean, since last year at E3 they revealed stuff that's going to be coming out in 2017 and 2018, I'm feeling like all the stuff that's going to be mentioned in this post here has a possibility of coming out in either 2018 or 2019, and I think that makes sense. I mean, we've already seen Pokemon Switch and Metroid Prime 4, and I don't think that there's any chance that both of those games are going to be coming out this year, so there's definitely got to be a mixture here of 2018 and 2019. So here's the big one, Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch, the ultimate version of Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U with major content and all DLC included. So this sounds pretty similar to what people have been expecting. I think it's definitely going to be a Super Smash Bros. Game on the Switch that includes like content merged from the 3DS and the Wii U with all of the DLC included. I mean, they've done that with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They've included all of the DLC. So I definitely think that all the DLC is going to be included in this Smash Bros. Game for the Switch, and I definitely think that it's going to have some new content, but the way that this person is phrasing it with major new content, I don't know what that's going to mean. Like a good amount of new characters, some new stages, some new modes, who knows what we could expect. But I definitely think that Smash Bros could be coming out this year. I definitely think that it could be like a holiday title for the Switch this year, and that's definitely going to get a lot of sales if that ends up being the case. The next thing here says Luigi's Mansion 3, and it says to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Luigi, it's developed by Next Level Games. So I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is also something that a lot of people want, and I think it would be really cool if that ended up coming out on the Nintendo Switch. It says here WarioWare is going to be a surprise. A brand new WarioWare game for showcasing the Nintendo Switch tech is going to be There, it's going to have stands with categories of mini games with Wario, Mona, Jimmy T, 9volt, and is developed by Intelligent System. So I think a lot of people want Wario games, WarioWare games, and I don't know how well they sell. I think I've been hearing people saying that they don't sell that well, and that's pretty much the reason why Nintendo has stopped making these games, but maybe they could do a WarioWare game. And I think it says here showcasing the Nintendo Switch tech, there's definitely a lot of possibilities as to what can end up being the case for a WarioWare game on the Nintendo Switch. I think that there's a lot of cool things they could do with the HD Rumble, with the IR camera, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. It says here Animal Crossing is also going to be shown here. It's going to be a brand new game of the Animal Crossing series. I think this is definitely a lot what people want to see as well. Animal Crossing is a huge seller for any system that it gets released on, and I think if it comes out on the Nintendo Switch, there's definitely going to be a lot of Nintendo Switches that are going to be flying off the shelves, as Animal Crossing is a huge seller. And I don't know if it's going to be a big game that's going to get so many people excited and get like new fans into the Animal Crossing franchise as well, but I think it'll be a fun game that's definitely going to sell pretty well on the Nintendo Switch, especially because now the install base for the Switch is huge. It says here Fire Emblem is going to be the 16th game of the Fire Emblem series, so this is actually the one thing that we've gotten confirmation of, as they did talk about that last year. Like in January, I think there was a Fire Emblem Direct where they already talked about how a brand new Fire Emblem game specifically made for the Nintendo Switch is going to be coming out in 2018, so that's like the one thing that we know for sure is going to be coming out this year, unless it gets like a delay or something like that, but I definitely think it's going to be a pretty cool game that's going to be coming out. I personally have never tried a Fire Emblem game, and I'm looking forward to this one on the Nintendo Switch, so that it'll be my very first Fire Emblem game to get into. It also says here Yoshi, and as we all know, there is a brand new Yoshi game that's going to be coming out for the Nintendo Switch, and it says here the Yoshi game that was shown off at E3 2017 will have its final name and release in June 2018. So I think that this year they're going to try to do what they did with ARMS last year, and if you guys remember, ARMS was pretty much a game that they showed off a little bit at E3, but it released like right after E3 ended. I think like that Friday after E3, you were able to go out and get ARMS. So I think it'll be really cool if they did something like that this year with Yoshi, where they have like a little segment about that during E3, like maybe during like the Treehouse segment, they'll show a little bit about Yoshi and show some gameplay, and then be like, oh yeah, you're going to be able to purchase this game by the end of this week. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. It also says here Mario Party 11, the 11th game of the Mario Party series, is going to be showcasing the Nintendo Switch tech and is developed by ND Cube. So I think we've always been hearing rumors about Mario Party 11 being developed. I know a lot of people on Twitter have been saying that Mario Party 11 is supposedly like rumored and is going to be coming out real soon for the Nintendo Switch. So it wouldn't be that big of a surprise if it was shown off at E3 and they maybe have like a little teaser or like a trailer for that. So I fully expect that to be shown in some way real soon. If it's not this year at E3, I definitely think it's going to be coming real soon. And finally, the last thing that it says here is a brand new unknown IP is going to be a horror game developed by Retro Studios. So I think that this is really interesting. As we all know, Retro Studios always has some really good games, and we know that Retro Studios has been developing something since like 2014, and everybody has been speculating to what this game from Retro Studios could be, and this person here is claiming that it's going to be a horror game developed by them, and I think it'll be really exciting to see what a horror game from Retro Studios could look like, especially if it becomes a Nintendo Switch exclusive. I don't think that Nintendo really has that many horror games, so I'm definitely interested to see what that game could look like. Now, before I wrap up this video, I do want to talk about something that I found pretty interesting, and it's actually one of my subscribers that brought this to my attention. So if you don't know, there's a website called Nintendo Wire, and they post articles about like Nintendo news and Nintendo stuff. And they did an article a while back about how Kimishima felt 1 year after the Nintendo Switch came out. And I'll put this article on your screen right now, and you can see right here that this article came out on December 28th, 2017. So what one of my subscribers told me in the comment section was that there was actually a person who just recently commented on this particular post, claiming to have information about Nintendo's E3 this year. So you can take a look down here. I'll put the comment on your screen right now. So the person here goes by the name of Brian Phillips, and they posted this on February 25th, 2018, talking about Nintendo's E3 2018. And the thing is, a lot of the stuff that is mentioned in this person's post matches up the leak that I just talked about with you guys. So it is pretty interesting how a lot of this stuff seems like it could end up being true. And think about it though, this person commented on a post that was made in December of last year. Obviously, even if this person was just faking all of this for attention, don't you think that they would want to post it on something that's like really recent? Like, this is like if I have information about Pokemon Switch, I'm gonna go and comment it on some random article about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, why would I do that? Wouldn't you want me to comment about something that's really recent so that I get the most attention? It's just really fishy how this person decided to comment on a post that was made like a few months ago. And so there you go, guys. Those are all of the supposed leaks that we have here for Nintendo's E3 presentation. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know how you guys feel about these leaks. Do you think that they're real? Do you think that they're fake? Definitely let me know all of your thoughts down below. I personally think that they have a pretty good chance of happening, and maybe they won't show everything that was mentioned in this post, but I think if this stuff ends up becoming true and they mention a lot of these things, it will definitely help out Nintendo in selling 20 million more Nintendo Switch systems. If you guys are new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Nintendo content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Go follow me on Twitter at ActualArrow if you ever want to tweet me something or send me something. I'm usually able to reply to everyone on Twitter, so definitely go and follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.